How are you, my dear students? Welcome back to our lessons. We are now in lesson 3. Our topic is operations on functions. For the product of functions, before we start with the problem in the product of functions, let's have first our exercise number 3. Okay, this is just a review. You have 4 questions or 4 problems given. All you have to do is to solve and simplify. I will give you 30 seconds for this one. Okay, so number 1 problem is the sum of a plus b multiplied by c plus d. Again, that is quantity a plus b times quantity c plus d. Okay, that is number 1. Number 2, the sum of x plus 1 multiplied by 2x squared. Again, x plus 1 or quantity x plus 1 times 2x squared. Number 3, quantity 2x plus 1 multiplied by quantity x plus 3, or the sum of 2x plus 1 multiplied by the sum of x plus 3. That is number 3. For number 4, negative 3x minus x. Again, number 4, negative 3x minus x. Okay, your 30 seconds starts now. Your time is up. Let us check your answers. Okay, for number 1, we have here the quantity a plus b multiplied by quantity c and d, or c plus d. Now this is a multiplication of binomials, or the product of binomials. So we can use the FOIL method. Okay, the first term, the outer term, the inner term, and the last term. Okay, so that is equivalent to A times C, that is equivalent to AC. A times D, that is equal to AD. Positive, kasi positive tayo lahat dito. Then, we have here letter B. Okay? For B, that is B times C. That's why we have BC. And B times D, we have BD. Okay, so the product is AC plus AD plus BC plus BD. That is for our answer in number 1. For number 2, that is x plus 1 times 2x squared. Okay, so same yung gagawin natin. We need to distribute the term, which is 2x squared. So we have x times 2x squared. That's why we have 2x raised to 3. Bakit naging 2x raised to 3? Because in multiplication, yung exponent ng variable natin, we need to add or get the sum of the two. Okay, this is x raised to 1. Understood na may exponent 1 yung x. And then x raised to 2. The exponent here is 2. So 2 plus 1. That's why we have 2x raised to 3. And then the next term is 2x squared times positive 1. Okay? So we have the same answer, which is 2x squared. We cannot combine 2x cubed and 2x squared because they are different terms, or different, unlike terms silang dalawa. Okay, yan lang po ang tatandaan natin sa multiplication. Now, number 3, we have 2x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 3. The same yung gagawin natin, yung FOIL method. Okay, the first term is 2x times x. That's why we have 2x squared. Kasi you have 2 times 1 here. Understood na may 1 coefficient yung x, diba? So 2 times 1 is 2. x times x. So, meron niyang exponent na 1 dyan. Kaya nagiging x raised to 2 tayo. Kasi we need to add the exponents pag multiplication. Okay, next term is 2x times positive 3. 2x times positive 3, we have 6x. So let us write here. We have here sa middle term natin, we have the 6x. Ayan. And then, another one, we have 1 times x, we have x. Kaya nagkaroon tayo dito ng 7x. And then we also have 1 times 3. So 1 times 3 is positive 3. So our middle term is the sum of the product of the inner term and the outer term. So that is 6x plus x. That's why we have 7x. The first term is 2x times x. Yung sa first terms natin, the first terms natin, that is 2x squared. And the last term is also the product of the last term here at 1 times 3. That's why we have positive 3. Okay? Now for number 3 answer is 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. For number 4, negative 3x minus x. So, same term sila. Ang gagawin natin is we will just have to subtract or get the difference of the two. So, 3x minus x, we have negative 4x. So, we have 4 negative x. So, negative 4x. Okay? Product of functions na tayo. Okay, in the product of functions, so let f and g be functions. So we have two functions, f and g functions. Their product is denoted by, so the product of f times g is a function denoted by the f times g function of x is equivalent to f of x times g of x. So that is f of x or f of x times the g of x. Okay, example number 1 for the product of functions. So number 1, our f of x is 3x minus 1 and g of x is x minus 1. Now let us find the f times g of x or the product of f and g functions of x. Our solution, we have f times g of x is equivalent to f of x times g of x. So sa product, we need to multiply. So replace the value of f of x and g of x. So our f of x is equivalent to 3x minus 1. Then multiply. Okay, copy the operation. Multiplied by x minus 1. Okay, this is our g of x. Now let's proceed to the multiplication. That is equivalent to, okay, right here, 3x times x. Isa-isay natin. That is 3x times x plus 3x times negative 1. So we have 3x times negative 1. And then plus, the next term is, this is negative 1. Do not forget the sign of our term. So negative 1 times positive x. That's why we have here negative 1 times positive x. The next is negative 1 times negative 1. So the last term is negative 1 times negative 1. Okay, let us simplify this. That is equivalent to 3x times x. Of course, that is 3x squared again. This is x raised to 1, x raised to 1. That's why we have 3x raised to 2. So sa product, we need to add the exponents of our variable, then multiply the coefficients. Bakit 3 lang ito? Because our x here is only, or has only 1 coefficient. So understood yan na may 1 dyan. So that's why 3 times 1 is 3x. 3 rather. So x raised to 1 times x raised to 1, we have x raised to 2. The next term here, so plus 3x minus 1. Okay, so 3x minus 1, that is equivalent to negative 3x. Kaya nagiging negative dito. So take note of our sign. Okay, so plus 3x minus 1, that is negative 3x. So nawala na yung plus dyan kasi negative na yung next term natin. And then the next term also, we have negative 1 times x. So negative 1x or negative x. Okay, negative x yung next term natin. And then the last term is negative 1 times negative 1. Of course, that is positive. That's why we have here plus 1. Okay? So next is, yeah, let's simplify or combine like terms. We have now the 3x squared. Okay, nakaseparate ito kasi raised to 2 ito yung first term natin. Then we have negative 3x minus x. So negative 3 and negative 1x, you have negative 4x. And the last term is positive 1. Okay, the product of the two functions here, 3x minus 1 times x minus 1, is another function, which is 3x squared minus 4x plus 1. Ayan, nagmo-multiply lang tayo ng dalawang functions. And then the result is also another function. So dito, we just need to master the multiplication of polynomials. Okay, let's proceed to another example. F of x, let f of x is equivalent to x plus 1 and g of x is equivalent to 2x squared. So let's find the product of the f and g function of x. So let's put a parenthesis right here. Okay, so solution, f times g of x is equivalent to f of x times g of x. Now let us replace the value of our functions. The f of x is equivalent to x plus 1 and our g function, which is 2x squared. Ayan, ito si f of x and the x plus 1 is our f of x and the 2x squared is our g of x. So we need to find the product of the two functions. Imo-multiply natin. That is equivalent to, okay, so this is also a distributive property. Distribute natin. So this is x times 2x squared. We have 2x raised to 3. Kasi this is raised to 2 and then our x raised to 1. So x squared times x, that is x raised to 3. I-add lang natin yung exponent ng variable natin pag magmo-multiply tayo ng two variables. Okay, so that is x times 2x squared, we have 2x cubed or 2x raised to 3. And then we have positive 1 times 2x squared, we have positive 2x squared. So this is now our product of the two functions, which is equal to 2x raised to 3 plus 2x raised to 2, or 2x cubed plus 2x squared. Okay, now let's proceed to example number 3. Now it's your turn to solve this problem. I will give you 30 seconds for this. The problem is, let f of x is equal to 2x plus 1. Again, the f function of x is equivalent to 2x plus 1. And g of x is equivalent to x plus 3. Our g function of x is equivalent to x plus 3. Find the f and g of x. Okay, so find the f and g functions of x. Okay, for 30 seconds. Your time starts now. time is up. Now let us check your answer. Okay, for example, number 3, the solution. The f and g of x is equivalent to the f of x times the g of x. Okay, the product of f and g function of x is equivalent to f of x times g of x. Okay, substitute the value of f of x and the g function of x. So you have 2x plus 1 times x plus 3. So 2x plus 1 times x plus 3. Okay, perform the operation. Let us do the multiplication here. So 2x times x, this is the first term. Then the next is 2x times 3, this is the second term. And then we have 1 times x, the third term. And the last one is 1 times 3. Okay, so after that, let's get a product of this. So that is 2x times x, we have 2x squared, plus 2x times 3, you have 6x. Then 1 times x, that is positive x, and the last term is 1 times 3 is positive 3. So simplify by combining like terms. So you have 6x and x. Ayan. So 6x plus x, yan lang po ang pwede natin i-combine, the middle term. So that's why we have the 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. Saan galing yung 7x? The sum of 6x plus x. Okay, kopyahin lang po natin sa addition. Kukopyahin lang natin yung variable natin kasi same naman sila, same x. So wala na po yung exponent. Understood na po yan na may exponent na 1. So 6 na x plus isang x, may 7 x tayo sa middle term. So the product of the two functions here in our example number 3, the f of x is equivalent to 2x plus 1 and g of x is equivalent to x plus 3. Their product is equal to 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. So that is the product of functions. Now let us proceed to the division of functions. To start, let us have the exercise number 4. Okay, solve and simplify. Okay, I will give you 20 seconds for this. Okay, number 1, a divided by b divided by c over d, or the quotient of a over b and c over d. Okay, so a over b divided by c over d. Number 2, 2x plus 1 divided by x minus 2 times x minus 2 divided by 3x. Again, 2x plus 1 over x minus 2 times or multiplied by x minus 2 over 3x. For number 3, 2x divided by x. 2x over x or 2x divided by x. So you have to solve and simplify. You only have three problems, so that is for 20 seconds rather. Time starts now. Your time is up. Now let us check your answer. Okay, so for the division of the two fractions here, two rational numbers, that is a over b divided by c over d, what are you going to do is i-cross multiply lang natin. So a times d divided by b times c. Again, so si a times d, ito yung mauna, the numerator multiplied by the denominator of the other fraction. Okay, a A times D, so this is A times D divided by B times C. Okay, so that is the solution or the answer here. Next is 2x plus 1 over x minus 2 times x minus 2 over 3x. In this problem, as you can see here, so meron tayong the same value ng numerator and the denominator. So we can cancel this since it is division. So x minus 2 over x minus 2. So ano yung maiwan? So we have 2x plus 1 over 3x. So that's why our solution here is 2x plus 1 over 3x. Ayan, kung pwede i-cancel kasi that is equivalent to 1. X minus 2 over x minus 2, that is equivalent to 1. That's why we only have 2x plus 1 over 3. Okay? So for number 3, 2x divided by x. Okay, so since we have x here, x over x. So x over x, that is equivalent to 1. Maiwan na lang yung 2. So sa division, all you need to do is to minus the exponent of the variable. So magiging x raised to 1 minus 1. So in this part, kasi x divided by x, or 2x divided by x, our variable here is x over the x. So ma-minus lang natin yung exponent ng x, which is 1 minus 1. That's why that is equivalent to x raised to 0. So any number or any variable raised to 0, that is equivalent to positive 1. So positive 1, that's why that ang maiwan na lang natin here is positive 2. That is 2 times positive 1 here. So for number 3, our answer is positive 2. Okay, now let's proceed to the division of functions. So we have here the f and g functions. So how are we going to get the quotient? So their quotient, denoted by f divided by g, is the function denoted by f over g of x is equal to f of x divided by g of x. So again, that is f of x divided by g of x, excluding, so dito may condition tayo sa division, excluding the values of x where g of x, or the denominator, is equal to 0. So let us have an example, number 1. Let f of x is equivalent to 3x minus 1 and g of x is equivalent to x minus 1. Again, the f function of x is 3x minus 1 and g function of x is x minus 1. Find the f over g of x, or the quotient of f and g function of x. Solution. So our f of g of x, substitute na natin or replace our f of x and g of x with the given value. Our f of x here is 3x plus 1 and our g of x is x minus 1. And then perform the operation. So let's divide. Okay, so we have f over g of x. So we cannot divide this one because ito na yung simplified form nila. Okay, so we have 3x minus 1 over x minus 1. Where, so you need to put the condition here, where x is not equal to positive 1. So hindi included yung positive 1 sa solution natin. Bakit? If x is equivalent to positive 1, that will make our denominator equal to 0 kasi magiging 1 minus 1 that is equivalent to 0, magiging undefined na siya. So dito sa condition natin, excluding the value of x where g of x is equal to 0, dapat hindi magiging 0 yung g of x natin or the denominator. So that's why in our solution here, the x should not be equal to positive 1 because that value will make our denominator equal to 0. Okay, now example number 2. Let f of x is equivalent to x plus 1 and g of x is 2x squared. Okay, x plus 1 yung f of x and the g of x is 2x squared. Now, I want you to try this one. Find the f over g of x. Okay, so for 20 seconds, your time starts now. Okay, your time is up. Let us check your answer. Our solution here is f over g of x is equivalent to f of x over g of x. Okay, substitute the value of f of x, which is x plus 1, and the g of x, which is 2x squared. So our function here is x plus 1 divided by 2x squared. Okay, so we cannot simplify that because that is already our simplified form. So f over g of x, that is equivalent to x plus 1 over 2x raised to 2. Okay, where x, the condition is x should not be equal to 0 or x is not equal to 0. Why? Because if x is equal to 0 here, that is 2 times 0 raised to 2, that is equivalent to 0. That will make our denominator equal to 0. Okay, so hindi dapat magiging 0 yung denominator natin. So, ano ba yung value ng x na magiging 0 yung denominator? Of course, the 0. So, if x is equal to 0, our denominator here will become 0. Kasi 2 times 0 raised to 2, that is equivalent to 0. Example number 3. Okay, let us try to solve this. F of x is equivalent to 2x plus 1 over x minus 2. And the g of x is equivalent to 3x over x minus 2. So we have two functions here. Now let us replace the function of f and g of x. So f over g of x is equivalent to f of x divided by g of x. Our f of x here is 2x plus 1. So, pwede nating isulat ng ganito. F of x divided by g of x. Okay, kasi we have two fractions here. Now, the f of x, substitute lang natin yung value ng f of x and the g of x. So, we have now 2x plus 1 divided by x minus 2. Okay, or 2x plus 1 over x minus 2 divided by, okay, so 3x over x minus 2. Okay, that is our g of x. Next, in the division, so sa exercise natin kanina, anong gagawin for the division of two fractions? Okay, cross-multiply nang natin. So that's why we have 2x plus 1 times x minus 2. And then you also have here x minus 2 times 3x. X minus 2 times 3x. So, anong nangyari dito? So, nagbaliktad. Okay? Reciprocal of the second fraction. Okay? So, 2x plus 1 times x minus 2 over x minus 2 times 3x. So, cross-multiply lang tayo. And then, here, so we have x minus 2 and x minus 2. So x minus 2 divided by x minus 2, that is equivalent to 1. That's why our solution now is equivalent to 2x plus 1 over 3x. Okay, 2x plus 1 over 3x. This is now our solution. Where x, so ano yung value ng x na magiging 0 yung denominator natin? So the value of x is, if the value of x is equal to 0, that is 3 times 0, that will make our denominator equivalent to 0. So 0 here is not included in our value of x. So x should not be equal to 0. Okay, so the quotient of the two functions, 2x plus 1 over x minus 2 and 3x over x minus 2 is equivalent to another function, which is 2x plus 1 over 3x, where x is not equal to 0. So that is for the division of functions. Okay, now I want you to try this last example, which is example number 4. Okay, I'm going to read the problem. Let f of x is equivalent to 2 over x. F of x is equal to 2 divided by x. And g of x is equal to 1 over x. Again, the g of x is 1 divided by x. So find the f over g of x. I will give you 30 seconds for this last problem. Time starts now. Your time is up. Now let us check your answer. For our solution, so we have f over g of x is equivalent to f of x over g of x, or we can write it as f of x divided by g of x. Now let us substitute the value of our f of x and g of x. Okay, the f function of x is equivalent to 2 over x divided by 1 over x. Next is we are going to multiply. Okay, cross multiply. So we have now 2 over x times this one, the reciprocal of 1 over x, which is x over 1. So 2 over x times x over 1. And then f over g of x is equivalent to, that is 2x over x. Now 2x divided by x, that is equal to positive 2. So na-solve na natin ito kanina dun sa example natin, the 2x divided by x. Now before we end our lesson, let us first review our functions. So how are we going to do the operations and functions? Number 1 here, the sum of the two functions f and g. So if we have f plus g of x, or f plus g functions of x, that is equivalent to f of x plus g of x. So that is for the sum of the two functions. Next is the difference. So the difference of f and g function. So you have f minus g. So f minus g function of x, or the difference of f and g functions of x. That is equivalent to f of x minus g of x. So all you have to do is to subtract the two functions. Next is the product of f and g functions. Okay, f times g functions of x, that is equivalent to f of x times g of x. Okay, so for the product, all you have to do is to multiply the two functions. For the quotient of the two functions f and g, so this is defined as f over g of x, that is equivalent to f of x divided by g of x. And that ends our lesson for today. Thank you so much for listening and watching. So for those who want to review, you can replay our video. Thank you so much and have a great day, everyone. Keep safe.